Good. Then let's finish it together. Creation of the model of the big tree in our scene. So the model of the big tree has 3 layers, right? So there are 3 layers like this. It looks like there are almost a few models. We can just do 1 layer. Then we copy it again. Rotate or zoom. Just make it look like there's not too much repetition. Good. So first we can hold down the Save key on the keyboard. Then click the right button of your mouse. Shift plus right mouse button. Then our operation. You can put this red cursor. Place it on top of our model. We can hold down the Shift key and click the right button of the mouse. The cursor can be placed anywhere. So what is the cursor used for? The cursor plays an auxiliary role here. For example, the object created by Shift plus A. Most are created at the center of our cursor. If we use some rotation later, scaling, or object alignment, you can use cursors as an auxiliary. Okay, so after placing the cursor, let's shift and add A. Let's create a latitude and longitude sphere here. Because of our leaves, it will look more like a latitude and longitude ball. After creating the latitude and longitude sphere, don't move yet. We can take a look. There are some settings for the latitude and longitude ball in the lower left corner. Now the number of segments it goes around horizontally is 32 segments. We can see. Then up and down. It should be up and down. It's this horizontal one. The ring has 16 segments. Then the 16 paragraph part. We can stay still for now. But paragraph 32, for us to do several pages, would be a bit much. So we can slightly make it smaller. For example, let's change it to 24 paragraphs. Make it less. Right? We don't need so many pages. Move up. Zoom out a little. Control A. Let's apply zoom. Then it looks like is similar to a hemisphere. So we can go into its marginal mode. Select the lower part directly. Note that I am currently selecting face level. After selecting the box, press X. We delete its face. The face of the third item. There is another one called tight noodles below. Not this tight noodle. Because if it's tight noodles, after you delete it, the edge below it still remains. So what we delete here is the face. It will delete all edges and surfaces. In this case, we will get an effect now. After having this effect, we're building on it. Squeeze out the feeling of its leaves in all directions. We can choose to go to our edge level. Then press the Out key. Let's click on this bottom edge. It will automatically form a ring selection state. After the ring selection is completed, we can use the View menu above. Find options inside. Among the choices, we can choose this called interval discarding. In this case, it will be every once in a while. Just deselect a section for us. Right? We just need a feeling like this. Then we can extrude E. Press the E key to extrude. Press Z to extrude toward the Z-axis. Easy, we extrude towards the Z-axis. What about after extrusion is finished? We can zoom in a little bit, and then move up a little more. What if this is the case? It's a bit like what we need. The feeling of leaves, right? Then it is our first layer. Then there is another layer. We can select some of its other edges, right? Is there a classmate who told me? Then why don't we choose to squeeze it out together later? Because if we squeeze out the words together, they will stick together, right? So we can do it in 2 steps here. Then after selecting the second edge, we press Easy to extrude downwards. Then also press the S key. We can zoom in a little bit. Then let's GZ move up a little bit. Their positions can be similar. We can just make some random adjustments later. So now we have extruded all its leaves. Coming. But now they seem to be exactly the same size. But let's not worry about it now. Let's make a basic shape of it first. Then we will slowly adjust it when we go to the back. Okay, let's make the basic shape first. Let's exit its edit mode first. Right-click, and let's use smooth color first. Then it has no thickness now. It's just a thin slice. Let's add a thickness to it next. Select a model for our tree. Among the options of this modifier, Let's add the previous modifier to it. Find a branch that generates. Here we can add the previous materialization. Materialization actually means giving our model a thickness. We can do this by increasing the value of this thickness. We can see the leaves here have actually produced some thickness, but it looks too hard now. So after we add the materialization, we're also going to add another surface subdivision. There are shortcut keys for surface subdivision, so you can choose our model. Control 2 or Control 3. It can add subdivisions of the previous surface to our model. I think Control 2 is actually enough. Okay, I already have the feeling now, right? It's such an effect. Then we need to adjust some details. For example, every leaf now looks exactly the same size. Not random enough, so we need to refine it a little more here. Return to edit mode. Here we can choose some of them. Press the G key to move forward. You can also press the S key to zoom. The other pages are the same. You can scale S. Right? Press the G key to move forward. Zooms. Or R rotation. Make it slightly tilted. All is okay. Then we can use it anyway. Some basic operation commands learned before. We can make its leaves from big to small, can produce some relatively random changes. It will look more natural, right? We just want it to look more random. Or be more natural. The effect will be better. We can just select part of it and adjust it. You don't need to tune every one. Choose some. Let's adjust it. I think the effect is already very good. It'll randomly adjust a few here. The overall effect is this. It's pretty good. So what do we hope? The top of the tree canopy. To this place of leaves. What about the turning point? Just a little tougher. There is a very clear corner. Then we can go to the bottom of it. That is, the current position of the bottom row of quadrilaterals. Let's go to Control R. Here we will add a circle of links again. The line is closer to the bottom. Everyone will find. The turning point here will become more and more obvious, right? So when you go to add a line, you can consider moving up a bit. Still a little lower. It will affect one of your effects below, right? Then the part of the plastic can at the top. I can pull it up a little bit more. Make it a little higher. Then the proportions will look better this way. We can make the overall number a little smaller. Control A. Apply our zoom. Now our top level. The feeling of the leaves. It's already done. Then let's do its second layer. Shift plus D. Let's copy one and press the Z key. Let it move down along the Z axis. This is our second layer. Right, very simple. What about the second floor? We can RZ. Let it do some rotation on the Z axis. Make it look. And the layer above us. Just don't be exactly the same, right? There are some changes. In other words, where's the whole tree? We hope its leaves are. It's from top to bottom. It's a feeling that's getting bigger and bigger. So our second level, it should be slightly bigger, right? At least its leaves should be slightly larger. Of course, after I enlarge the leaves like this, the upper part of it, it also grew bigger. What to do? We enter its editing mode. Just take the part above it. Let's zoom inward. We want the part above it. Zoom out a little. This middle place. It feels like there is a missing structural line. So let's add a circle of structural lines here with Control R. Could be a little smaller. In other words, the second level. The upper part of it can be slightly smaller. Then the bottom part can be slightly wider. Bigger. Doesn't it look better this way? Control A applies zoom. Good, very good. Next, go to the third level. Z and DZ we copy down. Then it's also the RZ. Let's unscrew it a little bit. We also want it to have a 3-layer. It seems that several pages have completely different feelings. So for the third layer, let's enlarge it a little bit. The entire leaves should be gradually lowered. Have a feeling of being opened. This way it will look more like a big tree. Isn't it? Third layer of leaves. I want all the outer horn leaves to be slightly pointed upwards, especially the part that hangs relatively low. Right? Let's make it go up a little bit. Make it slightly different from the leaves above. Some of them are higher. We may need to select it separately. Let it go down a little bit more. Okay, right? Well, it's also a bit high. It's also a bit high. Okay, let's just let it go down a little bit individually. It is also. Okay, so now we look. The leaves look very pretty. We choose this label. Hold down the Control key to erase it. Okay, so what's next? What should we create for the tree? Create a trunk of it. A tree trunk that goes from bottom to top. The trunk of a tree looks more like something. More like a cylinder, right? So let's start with the cylinder. Sigma plus A, we create a cylinder. It now looks like segments. We can make an automatic smooth left color for it here. We talked about smoothing the left color before. Smooth left color, it is possible to transform an object, fully displayed as a smooth state, more suitable for use in some. Similar to objects that require smoothness throughout the body. For example, a sphere, right? Then there is another one, which is the straight left side. It is more suitable to be used in. We are some objects with some sharp angles. Some mechanical objects can use straight. Like our cylinder. You will find it is relatively straight on the top and bottom surfaces, but the one on the side is smooth again. In this case, we can use automatic smoothing. That automatically smooths the left side. It is based on the angle between the surfaces of our object model to produce the effect. That is to say, the angle between our surfaces. If it is greater than the angle we set, it will produce a straight feeling, will produce folded corners. If it is less than the set angle, it will produce a smooth effect. So like for cylindrical cone. Objects like this, we could all use automatic smooth shading. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. Move it back again. Use this cylinder as its trunk. We need to first go to its orthogonal front view. Let's move it. Slightly bigger, then a little higher. Slightly higher. Then what? Numpad 3. Let's come to another test chart of it. Let's adjust its position. Let's see now. Where is it now? It should be. Still good. Control A applies the lock method. Now, our part of the trunk. It's already done. So here I am. In fact, it needs a little more. To adjust a small detail. What is it? That's what I want the whole trunk to be. It's better down there. The top is a little thinner. So how should it be done? We can directly enter its editing mode. Circle all the vertices above. We can zoom it slightly by pressing the S key. So if this happens, our whole big element is that the base rod at the bottom is relatively thick. The top plane rod will be a little thinner. It looks like the effect is better. Let's move up the whole element a little bit. Let its bare shaft be exposed more. What we used later was a perspective of an orthographic view. So it's almost time to render. We can readjust the overall proportions. For now, we can just use such a ratio. Otherwise, in our scene, it's on the high platform leading to us. There should also be a shape like a small ladder. It is composed of several cylinders and a cube. So let's make a small ladder first. Then first we place the cursor where we want to create the object. Near. Good. See, we can create a cylinder here. Reduce cylinder SJ and slightly elongate it. That is, the small cylinder used as our T letter. A little smaller. Stretch it a little more. That's basically it now. Then what? What is it still? Straight left color, right? Let's right-click and use automatic smooth shading. Let's let it out a little bit more. Good. Then after setting the smooth coloring, we want its top and bottom sides. It has a relatively round feeling. It is now a plane. So it feels like this rounder shape. What should be done? We can do it like this. First enter our editing mode. We also select the edge of the upper circle. Also select the edge of the upper circle. Hold down the Shift key. Press and hold the Out key again. Both of these have to be pressed. Click below again. Then we are adding to the selection and still choosing. Now both the upper and lower circles are selected. What about after choosing? We can use the leading angle command. Its accounting key is counter plus B. Then we use the accounting key counter B. Okay, then pull our mouse. That way you can see. We can derive a small hypotenuse. During the process of dragging the mouse on this guide angle, we can push the mouse wheel. In this way, on our chamfered bevel. To add some branch lines, these dividing lines will make our bevel look like. It feels like a hemisphere. That is the result we want. So we use this method. Notice when we pull like inside. Don't let the middle circles intersect. In other words, just leave a small circle. If you're worried you'll pull it off, it creates crossover. Models like this are a mistake. So what should you do if you are worried about this happening? You can take a look at the prompts below. Here we will see a prompt. It's just that C is a prefix. We can press the C key. Then when we go to pull it again, everyone, pay attention. When this center comes together, if you try to pull it again, it will have no effect. Did you see it? Just bumped into each other. So you can also use the front-end method to control. Well, now we have an effect like this. It's also a very good effect. Then we go down a little bit. In a moment, we are going to make another copy of Save D. Let's make another copy in the X direction. Then we need a cube in the middle. Come and seal it, because it looks like a small ladder. So we add A to save. Let's create a cube again. This is used as a plane to fill in between them. Let's GZ slightly upward. GX move. Then SY is slightly flattened on Y's head. So we have the overall feeling of a small ladder. It should be an effect like this. It's a bit like a slide, right? Like a slide, too. Control A applies its zoom. So in the middle, in order to prevent slipping. So you can add some details to it. We can copy the cylinders on both sides to the middle of it, then rotate it 90 degrees. Notice that I've now come to the orthographic front view. I've told you before, if you rotate in an orthogonal diagram, you don't need to enter the direction. Our 90 is fine. Shrink S a little bit. Put it here. Then we CVD. Press the Z key to copy one upward. CVD. Z key down to make another copy. In this case, we're mostly done. It feels like a small ladder. Right? You can't say it's a slippery question, right? Just a small ladder. It's such an effect. Good. Then there is a small branch. We need to take a look. Our outline in the upper right corner. Our outline is passed down from mouth to mouth. Nearly 20 objects have been created so far. There is no relationship between these 20 objects. Right? There is a complete parallel relationship between them. 1 is 1. There is no relationship between them. So for our current ladder, it is composed of 5 and 6 objects together. The shape of a small ladder. What I want to do now is, hope it rotates it a little bit. It just needs to be built on a high platform of ours. But if I rotate now, each object needs to be rotated individually. It would be inconvenient to operate this way. So we try our best to hope that they are a group. Or I only need to operate a certain part. Some other parts. The part it can operate with us. Let's make a difference together. So here, we will involve a negative subrelation. Negative pole. You can also call it the negative pole. Then I'll do it first, and then explain. First, I will use the middle wooden board as the negative electrode. Then I will now choose to hold down the Shift key. I select the object as the subpole first. Finally, select the small wooden board in the middle. Because the small wooden board in the middle is the last choice. So we'll find that its color is bright yellow. That bright yellow. We call this an active object. It has a special meaning. Okay, after choosing, make sure the small wooden board in the middle is bright yellow. The last one chosen. We use the keyboard shortcut Counter plus P. that is, setting a negative target. Here we can directly set it as a negative target. So that means the objects selected previously. They are all the characters of this board among us. Our board is the negative pole of the 5 small wooden strips on the front. So what does it do? Let's first take a look at our outline. In the outline, this cube 005, it now contains 5 children. Did you see it? Each one is a small piece of wood for us. So that means these small wooden strips belong to it. Is the next level, right? There is a negative relationship between them. Or it can be called a negative subrelationship. Then we now choose this so-called negative level. Of course, you can also give it a name here. For example, we call it a ladder. Okay, we call it a ladder. Then let's select it now. You'll see I just have to select it. Zoom or move. You will find that these will follow our negative pole. To produce corresponding changes, it is also more convenient for us to operate. In fact, there are many people here that can become negative poles. For example, between this tree and it, can I also become a negative pole, right? Which means when I go to move the stump, when the tree trunk, the leaves above should also be moving. You can do it this way. Good. Then we will choose our stairs next. Small ladder. Then rotate on the x-axis. Our x we rotate a certain angle. Then think about it a little bit. I feel like my current ladder is not long enough. After tilting it, you will feel that its length is not enough. It doesn't matter if it's not enough. We can zoom it a little bit. Then it's okay to put it here now. Then we can use the S key SYY. Let's take a look at XXCZ. Its axis is Z walking SCZ. Note the 2 Z's. If it is SZ, its first Z is actually our scene coordinates. It's this Z. I saw it was vertical. The second Z in SCZ is the direction of the object. It's our object's own Z path. It turns out its own height goes. So you can say put it. It's also possible. Did you see it? Can make our little ladder a little longer. You can pull some out. Pay attention to all your scaled objects. It would be better to use Ctrl-A to apply the zoom. Actually, I think it's possible without zooming. It's also possible. I'll just leave it here. Then we also need an identical small ladder on the right side. What to do? Let's copy it over. Pay attention to this copy operation. If we only choose complex polarization and go to CVD to copy, everyone will find. If you only select Fuji to copy, in fact, it has no effect on the subpoles inside. In other words, our influence on the subpole. In fact, it is limited to movement, scaling, and rotation. Some basic operations like this. If you copy, there is no way to choose repolarization. Connected to the subpoles inside and copied together. You should pay a little attention to this place. Then if we want to copy the entire thing to the right, what to do? It's easy to handle too. In this big steel window, go and double-click this little icon in front of our repolarization. Double-click the triangle number. What if this is the case? It will connect our negative pole and other internal subpoles. Just selected them all. Then we save D. Lock the Z-axis. Saves. Copy it. Then we rotate it. RZ90 rotate it. Then we move along the X-axis. Move it in. GX. Let it sit here. That's it. So what if this is the case? Our little platform. Small ladder above. We've already done it. Right? Good. So some details of the remaining scenes. Let's come back in the next few lessons and continue working on it.